So we got to get ready to go to work, but just had to drop this really quick. So got this Marvel 2-in-1. So Thor and the Thing, like two of my favorite characters. This is back in 1976, and so this was these were my Marvel movies, right? I'm pretty classic in a lot of different ways, and so I enjoyed these things. And so when I was going through, I remember these Halloween costumes in '76, right? So now kids, they don't have to have imagination because they can just go buy the costume, but we had to make them or have parts of costumes and whatnot in 1976. And so it was, I think I was 6 years old or something. So these comics, they hold a lot of stuff for me. Like, I really appreciate some of the artwork. I mean, look at this. Look at each panel. It's got like bam, bam, something's happening in everything. So if you had ADD, comic books was for you because there was always something happening in a comic book. So you could just keep going, flipping through pages and whatnot. And then if it wasn't the comic book itself, you could buy the ads. You could look at all the ads. And there was so I was flipping through here and I saw this this ad for these things called juice mobiles. And so these were shoes, and some folks will recognize that tagline. It says up there, "The juice is loose." So the juice is loose, and so this ad is selling these shoes, and the person who is the juice is Orenthal James Simpson, otherwise known as O.J. Simpson, right? And so I was thinking about that, and just recognizing that history is not kind. History tells the truth, right? All things come to light. And so what we have to remember is that our character is what carries us through, right? That our character is what people talk about. There are people, there have been comedians who had these great careers, and at the end of their careers, their character becomes manifested. There are people who have been lousy in life, but at the end of their life, you see their character. And so I would suggest that character forms us. And so if there's a message for today, if there's something I want you to think about, I want you to think about, how do you let life forge your character? Because oftentimes when people get they hit the lottery, they get the money, what they don't have is the character to maintain and keep what they've been given. And so I wonder if we've been given a lot and we feel like we've lost a lot because we don't have the character to maintain that. And so when I think about this particular this particular story or the image that O.J. Simpson was in, I just wonder in my own life what history will say. And I will say that history will say I was a person of character. And I hope that history will also point out to you where your character has carried you through. It is something that is a forging element in our life. And so we know that heat and the pounding is what turns steel into a weapon, what turns steel into a horseshoe, right? It is that pounding and is that heat. And so when you're feeling stressed and under pressure, just recognize one of two things is happening. Either you are being made or something is making you. And so I leave that with you today. I'm out of here. Got to go to work. Breakfast is on the table. Gonna hit it.